Class, and we are discussing chapter 4, text 6. Okay, so yesterday we discussed fifth shloka, and so here in 5 to 10, okay, text number 5 to text number 10, Krishna reveals his transcendental position about his birth and activities. Because previous shloka Arjuna asked that how come it is possible that you existed and you told the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to sun god, because we are almost same age, so how it is possible? So Krishna started speaking about his birth and activities, that how he is transcendental. So for 5 to 10 he speaks about his birth and activity. So yesterday we discussed the fifth shloka. Fifth and sixth talks about Krishna's appearance and disappearance. Particularly Krishna spoke about his appearance and his disappearance. Okay. So in the previous shloka we read that Krishna says that the way like Krishna's birth and death are not like common like other humans, other living entities. So it is not like you, Arjuna, it is transcendental activity. So now in the sixth, Krishna will speak that I appear in my original transcendental form, which is unborn and never dies. And I appear by my own will. Okay. So the form which I appear is transcendental form. That you have to understand, Arjuna. Okay. So that's the point. So let us read the verse. Ajo api sanyavyatma अजो अपि सन्य अव्ययात्मा भूतानां ईश्वरो अपि सन प्रकृतिं स्वाम् अधिष्ठाय संभवाम्यात्ममायया. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. The Lord, purport, the Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers everything of his many past births, whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. Very true. If someone is asked what he did exactly at the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. Right? If I say, can you just remember yesterday morning what did you have in your breakfast? Very difficult to remember. People will think, oh, what yesterday, what I had? Okay, this I had. They will not remember immediately. Then forget about telling them about 10 years or 20 years back. So he would surely have to degrade. He would surely have to dredge his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the same time one day before. And yet men often dare claim to be God or Krishna. How is this possible? So funny. Krishna remembers millions of years back what he did. But I don't remember. Simple living entity, people, foolish people, they don't remember even one day before activity and they claim to be God. So funny. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. Then again, the Lord explains his Prakriti or his form. Prakriti means nature as well as Swarupa or one's own form. The Lord says that he appears in his own body. He does not change his body as the common living entity changes from one body to another. Okay. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in the present birth, but he has a different body in the next birth. In the material world, the living entity has no fixed body, but transmigrates from one body to another. Okay, so this is the simple nature of living entity, that their body changes. Once the death is there, they take a new body, right? So, but Krishna is saying here that he does not change the body. He always appears in his original body. Okay. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in the present birth, but he has a different body in the next birth. In the material world, the living entity has no fixed body but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. For Krishna, this kind of process is not there. He is having transcendental body, and whenever he appears with the same transcendental body. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body by his internal potency. In other words, Krishna. So Prabhupada is telling very detailed understanding, very step by step, so very easy to understand. This is most complicated things which many great scholars also don't understand. So now here Prabhupada is explaining in very simple words for us. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form with 2 hands holding a flute. Okay, he appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by this material world. Although he appears in the same transcendental body and is Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes his birth like an ordinary living entity. So it may look for us that Krishna's body is also temporary and like that, and like us, but actually it is transcendental body. So for living entity, the body is material body. So it has got influence from material world, from material modes of nature. So this body is affected by these material modes of nature. But Krishna's body is not affected by material modes of nature. Why? Because it is transcendental. Transcendental means it is beyond 3 gunas. Simple. And although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, because there is no such symptoms in Krishna's body like the symptoms of material body of a simple living entity, because that is a material body. Krishna's body is transcendental body. So, and although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth. So this kind of transcendental activities also explained and exhibited by Krishna. He was a small child, then he became youth, then young, like that. But there is one important thing here. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. That's wonderful thing. Okay. So some people may say that because Krishna is also growing like child age to youth, like that. But the strange, very wonderful thing here is that he never grows more than youth. Okay, his body always remains young and youthful. Okay, at the time of the battle of Kurukshetra, he had, now Prabhupada is bringing very nice, wonderful fact. At the time of battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home, or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculations. Still, he looked just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. We never see a picture of Krishna in old age because he never grows old like us. Although he is the oldest person, Adyam Purana Purusham, although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present and future, but he never becomes old. He is the first person, Govindam Adi Purusham, but he always remains youthful, young, Navyavanam cha. Neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, ajanma, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, Satchidananda, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. Factually, his appearance and disappearance are like the sun's rising, moving before us and then disappearing from our eyesight. Very simple analogy to understand. When the sun is out of sight, we think that the sun has set. And when the sun is before our eyes, we think that the sun is on the horizon. Actually, the sun is always in its fixed position, but owing to our defective, insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. And because Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are completely different from that of any ordinary common living entity, it is evident that he is eternal blissful knowledge by his internal potency, and he is never contaminated by material nature. So, like sun comes morning and then it is not seen in the night, so one is thinking like that only, that sun is no more there. Okay, so same way Krishna also appears and disappears like sun only. He is always there, but sometimes he is visible, sometimes he is not visible. Sometimes he manifests his pastime here, sometimes he does not manifest, and he manifests somewhere else. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unborn, yet he still appears to take his birth in multi manifestations. The Vedic supplementary literatures also confirm that even though the Lord appears to be taking his birth, he is still without change of body. Right? In the Bhagavatam, he appears before his mother as Narayan with 4 hands and the decorations of the 6 kinds of full opulences. Okay. His appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy bestowed upon the living entities so that they can concentrate on the Supreme Lord as he is and not on mental concoctions or imaginations, which the impersonals wrongly thinks the Lord's forms to be. Okay, some people think that Lord don't have any form. Okay, but that's not true. The word Maya or Atma Maya refers to the Lord's causeless mercy. According to the Vishwakosh dictionary, the Lord is conscious of all of his previous appearances and disappearances, but a common living entity forgets everything about his past body as soon as he gets another body. He is the Lord of all. Krishna is the Lord of all living entities because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on this earth. Therefore, the Lord is always the same absolute truth and is without differentiation between his form and self, or between his quality and body. Okay, so he is absolute truth. There is no difference between his himself and his form and his body and his quality. Nothing, no change. Okay, everything is absolute. That is why even there is no difference between the name of Krishna and Krishna himself. Okay, a question may now be raised as to why the Lord appears and disappears in this world. So this is explained in the next verse. Why Krishna appears and disappears in this world. Okay, so that is in the next shloka. So now here in this 2 shlokas, 5 yesterday we discussed and 6 today we discussed. So there are some main things because we are long purport. So let us summarize this thing. So there are mainly differences explained between the living entity and Krishna. So Krishna is eternal and remembers past, present and future. He is Achyuta, never forgets, infallible. Okay, but living entities eternal. Living entity is eternal, but living entity forgets his past births. Okay, and Krishna remembers all births because body does not change or deteriorate. Number 2, Avvayam, but living entity forgets because body changes and deteriorates. Okay, number 3, Krishna appears by his own transcendental will. Living entity forced to appear by karma. 4th, Krishna's body is completely transcendental and living entity's body is completely material. 5th, Krishna's body and Krishna himself, there is no difference, Advaita. But the soul, the living entity, the soul acquires an external body. So so there is gross body and there is subtle body. Okay, for living entity. But for Krishna there is nothing like that. Gross body, subtle body, mind. For Krishna everything is absolute. Okay, so in this 2 shloka, 5th and 6th, now first point was discussed that, okay, so main theme is appearance and disappearance of Krishna. Okay, so okay, you can okay. So fifth and sixth shloka, the common theme was appearance and disappearance of Krishna. So the first point was peculiarity of Krishna's birth. So Krishna appears like an ordinary person, but Krishna remembers many past births, and common people cannot remember even few hours. The incident happened few hours. Many they just forget. Like Prabhupada explained that same time yesterday, what if you ask somebody what you did yesterday at the same time, they will not remember, right? They have to think. So that is why no one can say that they are God. Nobody can claim. Now second point is the Lord has many incarnations, but He is original. So analogy is given that Lord is like, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, that Lord is like Vaidurya stone, which changes color but still remains one. Okay, so Krishna may come in many incarnations, but He is the original one. Okay, He can manifest so many innumerable forms. Okay, and then for that reference was given, Rama Adi Murti Sukala Niyamena Krishnan. Those verses were there, 5.33 and 5.39 from Brahma Samhita. And then third point is qualification to understand these multi forms of Krishna. So example of such a qualified person is that only by pure unalloyed devotion, pure bhakti, and not by simply study of the Vedas. Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhakto. Only by pure bhakti, pure devotion, unalloyed devotion, ahit ki bhakti, one can realize, one can understand the multi forms or transcendental form of Krishna, and one cannot understand these things simply by study of Vedas. Okay. Example is Arjuna. Arjuna incarnates as one of the associate devotee in all incarnations. Okay. So this is a qualified devotee. Now the fourth point is that difference between devotee forgetting the nature of Lord and demon not understanding. So devotee may forget, but by his divine grace, one immediately understands the infallible nature of the Lord. Okay, so like Arjuna forgot, but he remembers. And now by the mercy of Krishna. So devotee may forget, but by Krishna's mercy he will also remember and he will also understand. But a non-devotee will never understand. That is demon. Okay. Now fifth point is living entity can never equal the Lord. Never. Lord is Achyuta, infallible, never forgets himself and his previous births, even in material contact. All the things Krishna always remembers. Okay. Okay, so that is the fifth point, that the living entity can never equal the Lord. Lord is Achyuta, he is infallible, he never forgets himself and his previous births, even he remembers 2 million years before activity. Lord is Advaita, there is no distinction between his body and self. Therefore, he does not change his spiritual body and never forgets his past births. So always he is in the same spiritual body, he is the same Lord. Living entity, however great he may be, and spiritually liberated or materially great, but whatever condition living entity is in, but living entity can never equal the Lord. Okay, like Arjuna. So materially Arjuna is very famous as Parantapa, subduer of enemies. Spiritually he is one of the liberated associates, but still he is living entity, he can never equal to the Lord. Now the sixth point is Atma Maya word, very important. So Lord, the meaning of Atmaya, the sixth 4.6 shloka. Lord descends by internal potency and not by external potency. Atmaya means the internal potency. Lord's body and intelligence never deteriorates, abhayam, and is never contaminated by material nature. Thus it defeats. So here it is counteracting and defeating Mayavad philosophy. And Prakriti means nature or Sarupa. Prabhupada mentioned that in purport. And Krishna's appearance and disappearance are like the sun's rising and setting. Okay, so he remains the same, but like sun comes and goes like that. So, but originally he is the same. So he may appear and disappear in many different forms and incarnation, but Krishna is the same. Okay, so he is always the Lord of all living entities, evident by wonderful and superhuman acts on earth. So many wonderful activities Krishna performs. And Atma Maya also means that Lord descends by causeless mercy, so that we can concentrate on his form as he is and not on mental concoctions and imaginations. Okay, so these are the summary from the 5th shloka and the 6th shloka. These some 5-6 point. Okay. Yes. So that was the today's discussion with the Srimad Bhagavad Gita 4.6, and as I said 4.5 and 6 are talking about the appearance and disappearance of Krishna. So we summarized today both the shlokas, and till 10th shloka Krishna's birth and other activities are explained by Krishna himself. So now in the 5th and 6th shloka we understand that Krishna is transcendental. Krishna's appearance and disappearance are like suns rising and setting, and Krishna's body, mind, intelligence, there is no difference. Krishna is absolute. Okay, and now he appears, that we understand. Okay, so why he appears? So why Krishna appears? So that will be explained in next 2 verses. Okay, that why Krishna appears here. Okay. So this is the 2 very famous verses of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so 4.7 and 4.8 talks about his activities. It explains when and why Krishna appears. When and why Krishna appears, reason of his descent. And then the 9th and 10th, 4.9 and 4.10 talks about the result of understanding the knowledge of transcendental birth, okay, and activities. Okay, who understand the transcendental birth. Okay, so very famous shlokas are these all. So who understand this birth and activities of Krishna, what is the result, what they get. Okay, so that will be explained in the 4, 9 and 10. Okay, so 4.7 onwards we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.